Let's make this Christmas decor piece using items from Dollar Tree. All right, so Dollar Tree has these little hoops. They come in a set. You can grab those. And then these calendars. So I have two different ones. I was trying to decide which one I was going to use. And you can do this for more than just Christmas. So if you're looking for fall decor, you can see they have different pictures for every month of the year. So you can do this for Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. You can do this just for spring, for summer, for fall, just all of the seasons. You see, you just put and pick a piece of the sign. If you get a bigger hoop, you can get a bigger piece of the sign. But you don't want to go too big because you're not going to have enough because it's just a little bit bigger than letter paper. So yeah, you want to just make sure, or you can do this with a picture frame. You can do this in so many different ways, but we're going to be using the hoops. So I decided on going with this joy sign. I thought that was cute, simple, festive. But first I'm going to paint the ring. I'm going to paint it this chestnut brown color. You can use a stain. You can use a different color based on what your home decor colors are. But I just gave it one good coat. I went around the inside, the outside, and the top of it. The back of it doesn't matter because you're going to be putting that down. And then just to add a little more stability, I'm going to use the cardboard that came with the calendar just to make the backing of it. So I'm just taking and cutting it out the shape of the sign here. I measured from the inside and just cut a little bit bigger. If you have excess, you can trim that off. You can trim it to fit flush in the sign. You can do it a bunch of different ways. And then now I'm just going to measure out the calendar picture to fit on top of that cardboard piece of paper. I'm measuring that from the outside because I don't want to cut too little and then it doesn't fit. So I measured it just a little bit bigger so that I had that little space to play with there. And then I'm going to take it, I'm going to glue that down. I'm just using regular Elmer's glue to put mine down. You can use Mod Podge, you can use hot glue. If you use hot glue, you just want to make sure whatever glue you spread it out so it's a nice even coat and you don't have like, if you use hot glue, you don't want those big lumpy bumpies, if that makes sense. So once that dries, then I'm just going to take and I'm going to put those two pieces together. So I'm just taking some hot glue and putting it around because my sign is just a little bit bigger than the inside. So it's just on top of there. I did come down too fast and it stuck so quick. So I had a little extra to the side, but that was okay. I just trimmed that off and that was no problem. So you want to make sure that when you are laying it down, you lay it down as slow as possible so that you can get it nice and centered and you don't have to worry about adjusting it after the fact like I had to do mine. But that is it for that part, and then you can just leave it just like that. You don't have to do this extra part, but just to make it, give it that ornament look, to give it that Christmas vibe, you can go ahead and you can add a little top. You can use just a regular, you can find a bunch of pieces probably at Dollar Tree to make the little top, but I just cut mine out of that extra cardboard there. So I just freestyle a little piece right here. You can measure this out, but it just worked out just fine doing it that way. So I cut that out, then cut out the middle, and then I'm just going to give it a little coat of paint with some silver paint, because the ornaments usually have those cute little silver tops on it. And like I said, this is real easy, real simple to do. And the gray kind of goes with the joy mason jars that are in there too. So it kind of goes together. And then once that dried, I just hot glued that down. And if you wanted to jazz up your back, you could add some felt there and just make everything nice and pretty. But if you're going to hang this on the wall or something like that, you don't really need to do that. And you can also, I'm going to use mine as a leaner though, but if you're going to hang it, you can also hang it by that little ornament piece. I would just double up on those pieces. And then I just made a bow out of this plaid and this red here. I thought those went cute together. And again, I thought they complemented the sign that was there. So what I just did was just cut the ends on an angle, and these are wired bows too. So I just cut the end on an angle and then I scrunched it together and just added some twine and then tied it in a knot. I looped that around a couple of times just to, give it that twine look. And then I glued down some faux greenery to this and the bow, and that was really it. And then I had my cute little ornament sign. Like I said, I'm using mine as a leaner, but you can use yours to hang on the wall if you want. If you like, give it a big old thumbs up. Let's make this Christmas wreath using items from Dollar Tree. So I have this Dollar Tree pinwheel wreath. I love these. You can paint these different colors too if you want. This ribbon is not from Dollar Tree, but you can get a bunch of ribbon from Dollar Tree. And then I have zip ties. I ended up not using those zip ties because they were a bit thick. I used the Dollar Tree ones for this, but you can just take and start zip tying your ribbon. And you can do this with the other ribbon forms from Dollar Tree too. It doesn't have to be the pinwheel one. And then what you're going to do is just beat it over a little bit about your fingertips length, if that makes sense. And then zip tie it again. So you're kind of making like little bubbles there. And then you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. So you see, I'm just going in and trying to make them about the same length, the same height. And you can do this with multiple ribbons if you want. You can do it bigger and you're going to get bigger bubbles. So when you flatten it out, you'll have like bigger coverage. If you're doing this with the other reform from Dollar Tree with the multiple layers, you can do this and do different colors on each one. You can do this in so many different ways. But once you go around, you'll just flatten it out like that. Well, not flat, but you'll just spread it out like that. And it covers up to where you put the zip ties on, and then you can reposition the stuff how you want it. Once I got towards the end, I did still have ribbon left. So you can see here, I had ran out of black, so I started using the red zip ties from Dollar Tree, but it's okay because they do get covered up as you open up the ribbon right there. So once I got to the end, I just made sure, everything was nice and everything overlapped and covered. And like I said, I had extra ribbon, so I went across with mine. You can leave this step out, but if you wanted to add like a cute little sign or something there, you can glue the sign, because I've done it before, just to that little circle in the middle of the pinwheel there, and it'll stay fine. But this just added like an extra little detail. So I went in between the ribbon, like where I zip tied it at. I went in between and just lapped it around so that it's in the front and the back. It doesn't really matter too much if it's in the back, because if you're going to be hanging it, you're not going to see the back. But just in case, I put it on the front and the back, and then open back up the things, cut off all of the zip tie little tails there, and then I glued it together because it's front and back and it's not connected, and I didn't want that little flap going there. So then I just put glue in a few places, and then just use some clothespins just to keep it closed while it dried. So once it was dried and everything was done, then I took those clothespins off and I finished doing the wreath. You can leave it like this, and it's just nice and simple. And like I said, if you did extra ribbons, then it would be a little fluffier, have more colors. I wanted to put a white bow there, but I didn't have any white ribbon, nor did I have a pre-done bow. But I just wanted to show you can put a bow there. And then I have some faux florals, some faux greenery that gives like, kind of that Christmas feel. And I'm going to put those there. Okay, so you can glue these on, you can tie these on, you can add ribbon in the back, not the red that I'm going to show you, but just the color that would go with it. You won't really see it once you put on all of your stuff, but you can add the ribbon just to make it a little easier to put the pieces down. And then for the acorns there, pine cones there, I tied those down, and that's how it came out. Let's make this easy Christmas tablescape centerpiece. All right, so I have some garland. This is Wyatt garland, but you can use regular garland. It just won't be as bendable, if that makes sense. So I have this little scrap piece of wood here, and then I have these tapered candle holders. Like, they came like in a set. So I have 4 of them, but I'm just going to use 3 of them. And they are the same color because they're like just in a natural state of wood. So they're the same color as this little piece, even though you won't see the piece on the bottom there. I'm just using it to center it. You can put the candle holders just in the center. You can use different type candle holders for this. And just when you're doing it, because you're not securing it to the garland, you're just going to want to move them separately. But I do keep it in the center while I'm making the centerpiece or the tablescape, because I just want to make sure that everything is set up the way that I want it to be set up, if that makes sense. So that's why I kept it in the center as I put together all of the pieces. But with the garland, I'm just going to it's like one piece, but it's 2 pieces on each side, if that makes sense. So I folded it in half and then folded it in half again. And then so there's multiple pieces on each side, and then you can fluff it out to look how you want it to look. You can make all the pieces look nice and neat. And then now I'm just going to fill it in with some ribbon to start out with. So I have this ribbon. It is not, it's not like a thin ribbon. It's like a wired ribbon. So it has this cute little velvet on it and stuff like that. But you can use different type ribbon. You can use multiple ribbons. That would be really pretty too. But I'm just going to take it. I'm going to secure them with the garland itself. And that's why it's good to use like a wire garland, because I'm just looping them around and kind of just making like little bubbles with the ribbon, if that makes sense. So I'm pinching it together and then taking a piece of the garland and then just wrapping it around and secure it. And it secures it real nice. It keeps it in place, and then you can reuse the ribbon if you wanted to. After the season was over, you can take this apart and you can reuse all of the pieces because you didn't glue that on. You can also use zip ties if you wanted to use zip ties, but this works really well, so that's not necessary. So I went all the way around, and with this one piece of ribbon, one roll of ribbon, I was able to go around twice with this. But like I said, you can use multiple pieces of ribbon depending on what your colors are. I like to keep my colors nice and simple for the holiday, but depending on what your colors are, you can just get real festive with this, or you can just keep it real simple. So once I went around the second time, I kind of just crisscrossed it, if that makes sense. But you can see how I'm just going like over and under the pieces that I have already done there. And like I said, this was able to go around fully twice. And when I ended it, I just ended it the same way that I began it, with just securing it with a piece of garland, kind of tucking it in so that you don't really see it. So that part is real easy and real simple to do if you are using the wired garland. If you're not using wired garland, I would suggest then to maybe secure it with like zip ties or twisty ties, just something to help hold it in place, because you won't have that same flexibility with the pieces on the garland. But once I was done with that, then like I said, I came in and just filled it in with different little things. You can fill it in with ornaments. I did these little berries that I have, and you can get these from a bunch of different craft stores in different places. And I just pop them off the stem. And again, you can get these to go along with your color schemes. And then for the ornaments, you can attach them like you do to the tree and just hide how you tuck them in there, and then put the little metal pieces in the inside. So this is real easy to do. And because these are taper candle holders, if you did want to light them, I rarely light like my centerpieces and stuff like that, but if you did want to light these, it would be elevated away from all of the pieces. So I have the faux florals. You can add a little faux Christmas greenery here just to give it like that lush green look if you wanted to. You can stack little, you can just go crazy with this. You can do so many cute little things. And this is just a fun way to decorate your table for the holiday season. If you like, give it a big old thumbs up. You can make this easy Christmas DIY using those Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree. I have this scrap piece of wood. I think it was like from some scallops or something. It came in a pack, but you can use just regular scrap wood. Dollar Tree has the little planks and stuff that you can use to put for the base. You can use something else, or you can do it without a base because they will stand up by themselves. But I'm just going to take the Jenga blocks, and you're going to do it as big as you want. You can start out at the top, just making a little peak, and then going in and keep on going down. Once you get to the base of how big you want it to be, you can spread them out, you can push them in, and then you'll just put a base of the Jenga blocks there just to keep it together. And then I'm just using hot glue. You could use wood glue, you could use a combination of it, and then I'm going to glue them together. I'm gluing the bottom ones on an angle, so you'll probably have to hold it in place just until everything dries nice. But mine did fine. I just pushed them together and laid it flat. A little bit of glue to get on the table, but this table is easy on glue. So I was able to just adjust it. And then I adjusted it as I was gluing it too, so that it didn't stay solid. So I just went up to the top. And then once I got to the top, you can see it's kind of separated, but you can just push them together and then glue that. So you can adjust these to be different sizes, different shapes. I made 2 different size ones for mine. You can make a bunch and make a whole little scene. You can add some snowmen to it. It could be super cute. So this is how that one looks. And then I made another one. And then now I have 2. I made them different sizes so that it can look like, I've seen these pieces in like stores and stuff. So it can look like that. I painted one red and I painted one white. I painted the base white too. I painted around all the edges. I didn't worry about the bottom because you're not going to see that. For the trees, I painted around the front, the back, all the pieces except for the bottom. You can do a kind of a two-tone look because you see the wood looks nice in there. So you can just like paint just the front and then have the wood on the side and then the inside, or you can paint the fronts and the sides and have the wood peeking out. You can do it a bunch of different ways. You can paint it in different colors to fit in with your scheme for the season. I have these little straw-like bows left over from something else from Dollar Tree that I popped off. So I'm just going to add some little ribbon detail to it. So I'm just making like a little rag ribbon bow. I forgot what you call it. But I just stacked up different pieces of ribbon, and then I'm just tying them together with twine. And then I went around a few times and tied it a few more times and then cut off the tail of that. And then once I was done, I just stacked them together. So I just glued it to that little straw bow that was there. I was trying to find the right direction for it to go. And then I glued those also onto the top of the trees. You can hang little bells. Dollar Tree has like a pack of little bell ornaments. You can hang those in there. You can do a bunch of cute little different things. You can decorate this with florals. You can do so many different things. But I glued the trees onto the base. I glued one in the front, one in the back, and then I added the little bows. And that was really it. It is so simple, so easy. And like I said, you can customize this in so many different ways. So if you like, give it a big old thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.